Announced former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo can leave Belgium after certain conditions following his acquittal last year over post-electoral violence that killed 3,000 people. Gbagbo and his deputy Charles Ble Goude were both cleared of crimes against humanity a year ago, 8 years after the former West Africa strongman's arrest and transferred to the Hague-based court. Belgium agreed to host Gbagbo after he was released in February last year under strict conditions, including that he would return to a court for a prosecution appeal against his acquittal. We speak now to the Director of Parliament there in the Ivory Coast, Martin Bolo. Very good evening to you, and thank you very much for speaking to us. What can you tell us about Mr. Gbagbo's whereabouts?
Alors, Madame,
Mr. Bolo, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. So let me ask her the question.
Yes.
Once she provides me with the answer, then I'll come back to you.
Okay, so where is Mr. Gbagbo now?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Who's the President Gbagbo? He's still in Belgium.
Okay, if we can just get clarity, Mr. Bolo, whom are you translating for at the moment so that our viewers can be clear whom you are liaising with to give us these latest details?
Well, the person I'm liaising with is the wife of the President Gbagbo,
okay.
Simone Gbago.
All right.
The first lady.
All right. Yes. That's good to hear. So what do we know then of when he is expected in the Ivory Coast? There has been talk since that acquittal that he will be going back home soon.
Yeah, hold on, please. Quand est-ce que vous pensez que le président Gbagbo pourrait éventuellement rentrer au pays, puisqu'il n'en a pas parlé?
Là, c'est encore difficile de le dire, hein, puisque c'est maintenant qu'ils vont commencer les démarches. Il faut qu'ils récupèrent ces paquets. Il faut qu'ils entrent en contact avec le gouvernement ivoirien. Et puis c'est après tout cela que ça pourra être décidé.
Now, what the First Lady is saying is that right now it is difficult to say, because it's only about a few days ago that the news just came to her. So for Mr. Gbagbo, President Gbagbo, to come back to the Ivory Coast, there are a lot of things that he has to do, that he needs to do prior to his coming back to the country here. Example, he has to get his travel document. He has to also liaise with the Ivorian government, making sure that, he has authorization to come back to the country here. So there are a lot of things that he needs to do prior to him coming back to the country.
Is Mrs. Gbagbo at least confident that the path will be smoother, given the fact that we knew from the beginning of the year that there was a possibility of Mr. Gbagbo being allowed to come back to the Ivory Coast?
Are you implying that you want to find out if Mrs. Gbagbo is confident?
Is positive. Is she? Yes. Yes.
Ok. Ils veulent savoir si le président Gbagbo, est-ce que vous êtes consciente que le président Gbagbo va effectivement rentrer au pays?
En tout cas, nous, ici, nous le souhaitons. Nous l'espérons tous. Nous l'espérons tous. Et puis, pour nous, ce serait vraiment l'aboutissement correct de tout ce combat, de toute cette injustice. Donc, nous espérons tous qu'ils viennent.
Okay, so what the First Lady is saying that, it's the wish of everyone here in the country, particularly herself, that that will be the end result of all the struggle, all the injustice, all the fight that went on all these years. So the wish of everyone here, and including herself, is that Mr. Gbagbo returns safely to the country.
What has been Mrs. Gbagbo's living conditions, her freedom of movement, if she's had any? Because we've had reports that she herself has faced difficult conditions since his arrest.
You mean when she came out of a prison, or
yes,
including? Okay, all right. Est-ce que ils veulent savoir comment est-ce que vous vous sentez? Est-ce que vous vivez dans de bonnes conditions? Est-ce que vous n'avez pas de restrictions? Est-ce qu'il y a des difficultés depuis que vous êtes sorti de prison?
Oui, depuis que je suis sorti de prison, ici, je vis dans de bonnes conditions. Je n'ai pas de difficultés particulières. La seule difficulté que j'ai, c'est que pour l'instant, là, je ne sors pas du pays. Parce que moi-même, j'étais poursuivi par la CPI. Le problème n'est pas encore réglé. Voilà.
Okay. Well, she's saying that she's living in pretty good condition, that she doesn't have any problems with regard to living conditions in the country here. But apart from that, I mean, she cannot travel because, I mean, she's got an issue with the International Court where Mr. Gbagbo himself has been detained all these years. So with respect to all this, I mean, it's difficult for her to go out of the country and to do anything else. Apart from that, in the Ivory Coast here, she doesn't have any issue at all with respect to her living conditions.
Mr. Gbagbo's lawyers had said that they were going to appeal not only for his unconditional release, but that there would be no limit to his movements as an acquitted person. So Belgium has now made an announcement of the easing of those restrictions. But is there still going to be further legal action to fight for his unconditional release and no restrictions to his movement?
Alors, elle voudrait savoir, est-ce que le président Gbagbo, est-ce qu'il y aura d'autres luttes qui vont être menées dans le sens, par exemple, pour que qu'il n'y ait plus de restrictions du tout, qu'il soit complètement libre de ses actions, de ses mouvements et tout ce que cela comporte, et même au plan politique.
Pour l'instant, dans les documents, dans les décisions qui ont été prises là, au plan politique, il n'y a pas de restrictions. Sauf qu'ici, dans le pays même, il a été également jugé en son absence et condamné à 20 ans de prison. Donc, quand il va rentrer au pays, qu'est-ce que le gouvernement ivoirien va décider? On n'a fait encore rien. Est-ce qu'ils vont le mettre sous mandat de dépôt pour qu'il aille exécuter ces 20 ans de prison, ou bien est-ce qu'ils ne vont pas en tenir compte? Pour l'instant, on a fait strictement rien. Sinon, les décisions qui ont été prises au niveau de la CPI ne lui interdisent pas de rentrer et de faire de la politique.
Okay. Now, what she's saying is that according to what is it, the international court, what the decision that's been made, Mr. Gbagbo, there is no restrictions whatsoever. He can travel, he can come to his country, he can engage into politics, but the only problem is that in the Ivory Coast here, while he was in prison in the international prison there, court, has been judged in the country here in the Ivory Coast, and they condemned him for 20 years. Hello?
Yes, just...
yeah, so they condemned him for 20 years for economic crime. So what she cannot say right now is that she doesn't know if once in the Ivory Coast here, if the government, the Ivorian government, is going to pursue that case or not. So it's up to the Ivorian government if they want to just drop all the charges against him, because after the judgment in the Ivory Coast here, he's been condemned to prison sentence for 20 years.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Batimbolo. He was Translating, as you may have heard the voice in the background, that is the voice of Yvette Simone Gbago, who is the wife of former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo. As we mentioned in the beginning, that Belgium said that it is allowing the Ivory Coast or rather the International Criminal Court is allowing Laurent Gbagbo to leave Belgium under certain conditions, and the former First Lady saying that they are still uncertain as to when he will arrive in the Ivory Coast.